Okay, now we create the project. And the first thing is we come up with all the entity classes. Okay, that's essentially this entity class would be directly mapped to the input. Very, very likely. Okay, we are not going to see 100%. Okay, but very, very likely this would be mapped to the input. Okay. The first thing that we need to have is called course. And this course, when you have a collection of courses, that would be viewed as curriculum. Okay, that's the idea. So for the course, we have the title, and we have the number, and we have prerequisite 1, prerequisite 2, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate the getters and setters for all of these. And I'm going to generate a constructor so that I can get the input and I create a new object. And I will just leave as it is. Then let's work on the curriculum, because the curriculum would be a collection of courses. So let's create another one that's called curriculum. And here we have a collection of courses. Okay, and here I will have a constructor. So what I'm going to do here is I will essentially create a new list so that I can hold a collection of courses. And whenever I get the input, what I will do is I will add a new course in. Okay, so here we are going to have the name, title, and we would have all the prerequisite. Okay, so essentially what we are going to do is we are going to see courses dot add new course with the name, title, prerequisite 1, prerequisite 2. Okay, and let's leave as this is, and we are going to take a look at another input entity that we need to have. That's the course taken. Okay, we are going to get a list of courses taken. This would be very, very easy. only 2 members there. That's the course number. And that would be the grade. And now let's go back to the curriculum and see what we need to do. Essentially, if you look at this, what we need to do is when you are given a list of courses, what you need to provide is you are going to provide us a result set. You are going to give us a set of courses that I'm eligible to take. So what I like to do is I will create a method. Okay? I will create a method. And this method, what it would do is it would return a list of objects. That's the eligible courses that I'm eligible to take. So I'm going to call this as eligible course. Okay? And I will essentially do, these eligible courses. We see find eligibles. And what's the input here? The input would be a list of course taken. Does this make sense to you? Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a class. I'll create an eligible course. For this eligible course, okay, that's the result that you are going to return. Okay, if you look at, you can use this for output purpose. And there are 3 pieces of information. That will be the course number, that will be a course title, and it will be the strength of the prerequisite. Okay, that's the 3 members that you like to have. Okay. But instead of, I'm going to declare these 3 members, the number, the title, I'm going to create a reference. I call this as course info. Because once I have the course info, I will have the course number, I will have the course title. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to, instead of I'm copying the content here, I'm going to create a reference. I refer to the course. Okay, and similarly, I'm going to create 2 members that would be store the information about the courses you had taken as the prerequisite. And here you would have the grade information. And with the grade information, you would be able to compute the strength of this eligibility. Does that make sense to you? And I'm going to create a constructor here. And when I create a constructor, I'm going to have this only use the course info. Okay, so I'm going to do that. And when I create it, I like to set both the prerequisite to be now to indicate at this time there's no prerequisite taken for this guy. Later, I'm going to add that information in. But I like to initialize it to now. That's a good programming practice, okay? And then what I can do is I will create two setters. I will set the prerequisite 1 and I'm going to set the prerequisite 2. Okay? So that I can set the prerequisite. Okay? And also I'm going to create a new field that's strings. And later I will create a member that is called compute strings. But that's something that we are going to discuss that later. Okay? I save everything, leave as it is. And I go back to the curriculum. And here what I'm going to do is I just say, okay, I have a list of eligible courses. I create the member. I call this as the result. Okay. And at the end, I just simply do return the result. Okay? And I need to do a little bit logic in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to iterate all the courses to say if they are eligible based on the grade information. Okay? And in fact, I would suggest that you are going to put a little bit comment here to indicate what's the purpose of these methods. Folks always ask, why do I write comments? You are going to write comments to help you. That's the first thing, to help you to understand what's going on. Okay? And when you clearly state the idea about this method, definitely that would help you to understand the solution a little bit better, your own solution a little bit better. Then we write a really good document that would help you somebody else that's reading your program a little bit better. Okay? But the first person that you are helping is yourself. Okay? So what we are going to do here is, based on the grade information, compute the list of courses that are eligible to take. Okay? And what we are going to do is we iterate. Okay, we say int I is equal to 0, I is smaller than the grade, smaller than the courses dot size, and I plus plus. I'm going to iterate on all the courses. I'm going to say if I'm going to say eligible course I'm going to create one method that's called eligible. What it would do is it would take the course that you are looking at against the collection of the grades. So what this would do is it would tell us whether or not the course is eligible to take based on this collection of grade information. We are going to say, because right now it's not declared, let's declare it. Go ahead and declare it. Okay. And what we are going to do is we are going to write the comments here, so that you definitely that would help you understand. So this would return an eligible course based on course against the grades using prerequisite information. Okay? And we are going to return now if the course is not eligible or had been taken already. Okay? Is this clear? The reason I create this is I'm going to focus based on the course that you provide, based on the list of the grades that you receive. I try to say whether or not you are eligible to take this course. If you are eligible to take the course, I'm going to hand the object back. If not, I'm going to return a null. Okay? And this method is a little bit more complicated, okay, as I'm going to show you. And let's just stop here.